24 of the best collegiate bowlers came to Lincoln with the hopes of walking away with a title. But after close competition, only 4 remain, meeting in what just might be a preview for the future of professional bowling. The X-Bowling Intercollegiate Men's Singles Championship is next. Welcome you inside Sun Valley Lanes in Lincoln, Nebraska. This is the X-Bowling Intercollegiate Singles Championship. The excitement of college bowling in one-on-one competition. Hello again, everybody. I'm Dave Lamont, and thank you very much for joining us. We've got an incredible field of talented bowlers here to decide the title for the Singles National Championship. And let's take a look at how these bowlers got here before we meet them. Take a look at Michael Conn, a 580 win over Jacob Baresh to get to the round of 8, to get to the final 4. He'll take on Brock Finch, who had a solid 711. And how about the score put up by Ronnie Fujita in the round of 8? A 794 is going to beat about anybody, and his opponent, a 698 for Aaron Lorincz. So now, let's meet our 4 competitors.
First, a freshman from Lindenwood University, Ronnie Fujita. A sophomore from Urbana University, Brock Finch. A senior from Morehead State University, Mike Conn. And a junior from Saginaw Valley State University, Aaron Lorincz.
And once again, I'm joined by a man who understands this college game as well as anybody, Chris Barnes, who bowled at Wichita State, has singles championships. What is going through the minds of these players right now?
Well, right now, the biggest key is just to get your mind to slow down. You get a chance to bowl for a national title here. It's really exciting, and the adrenaline's flowing. The guys that like to throw the ball hard are going to have a little bit of advantage over the touch players. If you can get your heartbeat settled down, you can throw great shots when you need them.
I hate to do this to you, but I'm going to have to ask you for a pick.
Well, and there's a lot of great ones to pick from. You could go with Mike Conn. He's the 2009 junior gold champion. Aaron Lorincz was 10th place at the adult Team USA championships this year. I think I'm going to go with the hot hand, though. Ronnie Fujita shot 794 and 784 in his 2 matches. I think he has a chance to run the table today.
All right, we'll find out if he's right. We take a look at what we're bowling on. And Chris, take us through the lane conditions.
Well, you see it's 44 feet, and most of the players are going to play right through here. But Ronnie Fujita is going to move in, and he's going to be playing a little bit inside of that and trying to open this area up. The longer this goes, the more advantage he has. Aaron Lorincz is a shot maker. He's going to have to get out there early.
Ronnie Fujita in the Lindenwood shirt, and he will be first. He didn't know that, but he will be first.
As a freshman, sometimes these things can sneak up on you.
Yes, well, you see he's from El Sobrante, California, anthropology major. He's at 3 300s and an 816 high series. He almost got that in getting to the show. And a little bit through the nose on the first shot for the singles, and your favorite, the 3-6-10.
Not the way you want to start off a match. This one's well inside the target. He's really trying to cross just inside the second arrow. Somewhere around the about the 11th, 12th board. That almost crossed 15. Not a real uncommon thing, your first shot of the day, and certainly not as a freshman. The longer this goes, the more comfortable he gets.
And he'll go wide right and leave open in the first frame. Now, you've often talked about how coming out of a break is the most difficult shot. How about the very first shot to start a national title match?
Well, anytime I think you're on TV, your brain's moving faster. You have a tendency to want to control it and you get a little fast with your upper body. And once you do that, your shoulder goes forward and the ball goes left to target.
Aaron Lorincz from Saginaw Valley State. Perfect. He's had 19 300 games. He was not sure if he should count sanctioned, unsanctioned. That's still a lot. I don't care whether they're sanctioned or not.
Aaron's a very good player. And this is kind of a classic shot maker versus power player matchup.
In his first PBA regional, he had back-to-back 300s. Now he's at tinning. Mixed him up, got it.
When this one gets a little bit longer down the lane, you watch the head pin go to the wall, crossing right between first and second arrow, around 7-8. The pin goes back, knocks out the 4, the 7, and the 8 for a key double.
Here's the event format. 24 players advanced through sectional play. Then there were 8 games of qualifying. And now we're down to single elimination, 3-game matches.
Each of these players had to win 2 matches to make it to this point right now. Oh. This is a much better shot. He's playing really the center characteristic where the track hooks quite a bit. Goes light, where Aaron's head pin came back and knocked out the 4, 7, and 8. His only got the 4 and knocked that into the 8, missing the 7. Make a spare here and get off the, kind of get comfortable.
That should ease his nerves just a little bit. How about some keys to victory here, Chris, for these 2 players? First off, for Ronnie Fujita.
Well, Ronnie's just speed control. Here early on, the lanes haven't quite broken down enough to where he can play where he wants to play, which is towards the middle of the lane. For Aaron Lorincz, it's about getting a quick shot. He's a shot maker, so he needs to get shots on target. He's going to have to throw 1 or 2 shots a game better than Ronnie for the difference in carry.
Two teammates of Ronnie's from Lindenwood sitting behind him. Come back.
And this is the hard part. He's just a little revved up here,
so to speak.
Yeah, we work with the same coach, actually, Mark Baker, and he has a tendency to fly his hips open. And when he does, he doesn't get him shut back down. Yuck. Wash out here.
He'll take 3, so 2 opens in the first 3 frames for the Lindenwood freshman, Ronnie Fujita. An opportunity now here for Aaron Lorincz to do exactly what you said he has to do, get that fast start.
Ronnie proved in the qualifying that he can strike a bunch, but in the end, he's still a freshman. He hasn't bowled a lot of these situations. Aaron has been at more of these big events for sure. Great time to take advantage.
Well, he has too. A kick on the 10. That's an old-fashioned style he has there.
He's a little bit down and in, but his lines are very square. His swing is very straight. He's going to be able to put it on line, and he posts up shots. So even though this is a very high-scoring event this week, and there's lots of big scores, his shot making allows him to score just as big as the guys are creating more room than he is.
He says his keys to success this week have been spares and clean frames. That's the mentality of a shot maker. Right now he's a strike maker. 4 for 4 for Aaron Lorincz from Saginaw Valley. A spectacular start. He had to get out quickly, and the shot maker is doing just that in the opening match of 2 semifinals in the X-Bowling Intercollegiate Singles.
And by Bowl.com, your online source for all things bowling.
Even as early as it is, he's already in a must-strike situation. Gotta go.
Right did. Wow, that really picked up a lot of steam at the tail end. And he was able to get and maintain the focus that he says he has to have.
of people wait for opportunities like this, especially for TV, and it's really humbling that I'm a freshman and able to get experience this when most people in college don't get to experience this in all of their 4 years. So it's hard to describe because I'm excited but nervous at the same time, since the biggest thing I've done all year, well, probably in bowling career.
Well, he's going to be even more nervous, or maybe not anymore, if Aaron Lorincz just continues to do what he's doing, because he hasn't missed yet.
Well, he's dialed in on this right lane. His ball is making the perfect move. All 3 shots have been high flush on that lane. This lane here is the key for Aaron. He's been able to shake him down twice. But he throws another one here. He's already on a 240 pace.
Six for 6, 10 straight back for Aaron Lorincz. Well, a new era in youth bowling has begun, and the USA Bowling Program needs you. Volunteer your time to coach children in this team-based competition. Find a free seminar in your area, pick up the basic skills, and teach the game. Please visit bowl.com/USA Bowling.
Aaron with the front 6 is already on a 240 pace. That is a disaster.
2-8-10.
On a 44-foot pattern, about as wide as your ball can get is around the 5th board. And that gets out to about the 3rd board. It's no man's land. Just not enough time at that last 60 feet of lane to get up the hill.
So the door wide open now for Aaron Lorincz to make it to the championship match, as either Brock Finch or Mike Conn competing in the next semi. See what Ronnie Fujita did in 2 spectacular series. I mean, Jeremy Zimmerman throwing a 725 is nothing to be ashamed of.
That's a great set most of the time. I believe that set that Jeremy actually was in the lead after 2 games. That Ronnie had 5-10 and was 10 behind after 2. And then as transition happened, he shot 2 over the last game, and that was not nearly enough. He came in with another huge game and another 270 to finish it off.
I think reality is set in for Ronnie Fujita. It may have after that 6th strike by Lorincz, but the good news for Ronnie Fujita is he's a freshman, and there's an excellent chance he'll be back at this event.
First shows tend to go one way or the other. There's not a lot of average games, unfortunately. You either come out swinging for the fences and you hit the home run, or you strike out.
Owns that right lane, you're right. That's 7 consecutive.
Missed this one just a little bit at the bottom, but his arm swing is so straight and things are on line that it didn't miss target, so he was still in play.
And he's low key about the whole thing too.
His coach says he's very solid. He's very strong mentally. He finished 10th this last year at the Team USA trials on a condition that hooked quite a bit, and guys had to play pretty far left. So for him to finish that high with a medium rev rate, you have to be a pure shot maker to finish that high there.
Well, he has been pure through 8. Mom and Dad, Robert and Renee, are here watching him. He's making Saginaw Valley proud, that's for sure.
The real question now is, can he shoot 300?
And what's the rule on that? Now, is it like the perfect game rule in baseball, or no hitter when you're not allowed to talk about it, or?
Well, it depends how good a friend you are.
Okay.
It's Tommy Jones, and he's got, front 9. I walk by and say, no hitter, no hitter, no hitter.
And I'm sure he would do the same to you.
Unfortunately, yes.
Good to see him finish strong. Ronnie Fujita's a heck of a player. Lindenwood folks know that. They had a nice run in the team championships.
Really talented player, and very young in his overall career. He's just got a lot of motion there in the middle where he tends to shift his hips outside, and and has a tough time closing them back down to get it on line. And when he does it like that last one, ball just roars back off the spot. Honestly, just a super strong strike ball.
After a couple of the breaks, he doesn't need a ringing 10. He can get a strike.
No, it would have been nice to go ahead and strike out for 195. And for that, it's dog piling. It's a little bit Tommy Jones-esque there, where he puts his thumb in first and then kind of works his fingers back into it. Not very many players do that.
Hang on. I think he's joking with the crowd. So he opens that one as well. All right, now, you're Aaron Lorincz. You're in a position, you won the match. I mean, the number one goal has been accomplished. Now you're potentially 4 swings away here from doing something spectacular on television. How much are you thinking about that?
Well, I think he's very focused on that. Ronnie's kind of helping him keep loose a little bit, actually, doing him a favor here. Nice.
Come on. Their mom and dad had to be proud of that. Robert and Renee. Nice run of the front 8. A little bit of a flat 10 there. Ends the run.
Great shot. Just a little bit of transition. A little bit of oil down lane guided.
Aaron Lorincz is through to the championship game against either Mike Conn or Brock Finch with an impressive performance. The front 8 to dominate the match and make the championship. Next up, Mike Conn versus Brock Finch. Our coverage of the X-Bowling Intercollegiate Team Men's Singles Championship continues. Listen, Aaron Lorincz with an impressive 270-80 nailed the front 8 and dominating the match. And he now will sit around and watch this one because it's Mike Conn on your right and Brock Finch on the left from Urbana University. And he will start. Sterling, Ontario, Canada, hometown. And his high game is a 299, and elusive. Probably a ringing 10 or something like that. I love the look on your face when I say the words ringing 10. Good looking ball. Yeah, it's got to be difficult to wait around and watch that first match and then come right out and have to throw. And he's beautifully done.
A little bit inside of target, but he was able to get it on line enough to strike.
Now Mike Conn from Moorhead State. And you're going to notice Mike's got a lot of friends in the audience here. And they've identified themselves very clearly. Oof. Hang on there. All right, he gets out of trouble with a makeable single pin. Now, Mike normally wears bow ties to his matches, and that green jacket is not from his win at the Masters. That is the jacket he normally wears, but obviously he's not going to be doing that while bowling. So the bow ties and the Moorhead team shirts and the green jacket in support of this very popular senior. Besides having the nicest dressed fans in the audience, how about some of the keys?
Well, for these two players, for Mike Conn, he has a habit of occasionally come out of a shot. We already saw that in the first frame. When it comes out of it, it misses left and his rev rate goes down. For Finch, his deal is he'll get forward in the middle a little bit, his feet will run to catch up, and he'll fall off shot. So his footwork gets affected by how quickly his spine tilt goes forward. That's much better.
Say that again. So those who wear the bow ties and have the red painted hair are happy about that one.
Well, looky here. Crosses 11, goes right through the pins, and meet Lucky Charms.
That shot was magically delicious, you're right. Brock Finch has fans here too. They're a little more low key. They're here.
Brock Finch. It's a great name.
It is a great name, actually. He wants to stay in the sport when he's finished with college. He wants to open up a bowling center one day.
That one's good there.
Maybe he'd give lessons.
We spoke just a minute ago about spine tilt. When he's able to stay upright through the first 2 steps, like this shot here, now his footwork's perfect, and as he goes in through a slide, he's dead on balance, not falling off at all. That allows his rev rate to stay up, and his ball direction goes online.
Brock qualified 4th, averaged 230, and was extremely consistent in the 3-match play.
That's not a great catch in match play. You pulled Devin Bidwell and A.J. Johnson. You got 2 guys with Team USA experience there.
Got a kick on that 10, and a great start for Brock Finch.
I love this guy's ball roll. It's hitting with so much power down the lane. He's getting his ball to slow down where earlier Ronnie was struggling to get his ball to pick up. It's picking up and going through the pins. It never looks like it's going to miss the pocket.
How much do you think these two learned watching the first match?
A little bit. I think they both like to play where Aaron played, but they're both having to play inside of it because of the extra play in the lane.
The always tricky 2-8 for Mike Conn.
You can see here with Mike, he's got a shorter swing than Brock does for sure. And he's actually a little bit early here. As he goes in slides, you want his swing to be parallel as this foot gets in front of his head. And in this case, it got down there, so then his result is his hip will come up a little bit to try and catch it at the bottom. In that case, he wasn't able to catch it enough. It was on line, but it's still a 2-8.
That's nicely done. That is certainly one of the more difficult leads. But Mike finds himself down early here through the first 3. And you see his path to this semifinal. Qualified with the best average of anyone in the house, 233.6, and defeated Wichita's Francois Lebois and Jacob Baresh. So 2 completely different matches, too. I mean, a 732 and then down to a 580.
Yeah, when he bowled USBC Hall of Famer Lenny Baresh's son, Jacob, and Jacob had a great look. He decided to play a little bit of defense, actually, and he broke down the lane in a different spot, made Jacob move around a little bit, and the scores, they both suffered on the scoring end, but turned in more of a shot maker's match, and he felt like that was his advantage. To me, he looks a little stuck right now, though.
Oh, went for it all.
Not
Bold
playing
effort.
far enough right to play where Aaron was. Not quite enough rev rate to get in to where Ronnie and Brock are.
So what does he have to do?
Well, he's either got to slow down and go ahead and move the rest of the way in and get in there to give his ball time to make it back. Or he has to go ahead and get firmer and get on top of where Aaron was and try and copy what he was doing out on right of second arrow.
Brock brought his coach along, Alan Ryan, and his roommate, Graham, are here. There you see Graham in the red hoodie. He looks really comfortable.
He does. His shots are very easy to tell at the end result. When he gets there and posts up shots at the line, everything's on line. His ball picks up perfectly about the 40-foot mark. Just looking to get it to pick up right about there. Just mows through the pins. Left lane still seems to be a little bit tighter down lane. It's going to be the more difficult lane to strike on just because it doesn't want to turn the corner so much. The power that he has seems to allow him not to have any trouble with it.
He's a sophomore at Urbana, as a math major. He's played for Junior Team Canada.
Got away with it.
Yeah, you didn't seem impressed with that, but the bottom line is an explosive strike and a perfect start for Brock Finch. We saw the front 8 in the first match, and now the front 5 for the Canadian Brock Finch. Has the big lead early in the semifinal. The winner going on to the championship match. Conn has made ball change and the change of his position has paid off as he's hit 3 strikes in a row and is still fighting for the chance to defeat Brock Finch. I see Mom's t-shirt. I believe that says red, short, and dangerous. Talking about her son. Boy, he's making it look easy now. But he will not go away quietly. He has struck 4 in a row after a slow start.
Max score of 246. Brock Finch already on a 249 pace right now. Key for Brock is to get up here on this right lane, which has been the better lane for everyone, and throw a strike, and that keeps the count in his favor where he doesn't have to throw a double.
You see their maxes right there.
7 or 8 count here changes everything.
And that one adjustment that Conn made during the break certainly benefited him. And that's how you respond. Oh, that's impressive by Brock Finch.
What a great shot that was. Watch his balance at the foul line. It's absolutely perfect. He knows it right there. Anytime a bowler is moving left or backwards after they throw it, they've been perfectly on balance, and they know it felt great. This is the key for him. Last shot was inside a target. Shot before that was a little light. Gather himself here. Make one really good one. Oof.
Leaves just the 4.
Boy, and this was a really good one. You can see the 2-pin goes right around the 4 and hits the 7. Oh, so close.
He liked it.
Yeah, he threw the shot he wanted to throw. He just missed a move there with the bad shot in between.
So he is clean through the first 9 frames. And for Mike Conn to have that kind of smile he has in that picture over his shoulder, he has to strike out. Max is 246. See what Mike did in 13 events for the Eagles at Moorhead State. Good program there.
Been a good program for a long time.
Oh, I thought he might get a break on that 7.
Now this is what we're talking about. It came up out of it just a little bit at the bottom, and it's on line, but it doesn't quite make it up. Watch his right hip here. He's down low here. He's digging back a little bit, trying to come up, and as he comes up out of it, he misses it just a little bit at the bottom. His arm swings straight. He's got great lines. He's got and really good footwork. Gets a little low early, gets himself trapped, and he has to come back up out of it.
Oh, that's just an awful break on the ringing 10. He had to have that strike to have any chance and to put some heat on Brock Finch.
And it really comes down to practice. He came down, he had 2 choices, whether play out or play in. He chose right at the end to play in. It turned out to be a bad choice and eliminated his chance to find the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow.
So an unlucky start for Mike Conn ended up being really the determining factor in this match because Brock Finch opened with the front 6 and took control from the start. No, messenger doesn't show. So a very solid score for Mike Conn at 213. But Brock Finch will take on Aaron Lorincz in what could very well be a extremely high-scoring championship match. The winner is a national champion. The ex-bowling intercollegiate men's singles champion will be determined in our next match. And he opened with a front 8 and dominating his semifinal match. So this has the potential to be high scoring, and the winner will take home a little something to carry on the plane to brag about. I'm not checking that through. I'm going to carry that and even buy a seat for it if I have to. With Chris Barnes, I'm Dave Lamont. This is the ex-bowling intercollegiate singles championships. Aaron Lorincz, Brock Finch, and it will be Lorincz going first. Junior from Saginaw Valley State. And waiting around didn't seem to bother him any.
Yeah, great start for him. Striking that left lane is going to be key. It's a little tighter down lane, a little tougher to get your ball to go through the pins.
Interesting. Two low-key personalities here. We're not going to be seeing guys running shots out into the stands. They just go about their business.
That's the most difficult part, is you want to be energized, but you have to play at basically the same level all the way through. And so these two players have found a level that's a little bit lower than some of the average collegiate team levels that you hear.
Well, that's a different story. Oh, and he goes through the face and comes up with the big 4. I was going to say the emotion level for the team and individual events drastically different.
What we saw right at the end of the practice was some of the same thing. This is where he's playing the first game, but now it goes high. He's got to move probably 2 or 3 left. He thought that was a good shot. I think he was a little surprised that it hooked that much.
So he'll open up with just 7 in that first frame. Both these players got out to fast starts in their semifinals. Front 6 for Finch. He beat Michael Conn, who made an excellent adjustment, just made it too late.
Correct, correct. As opposed to what Aaron's doing, which is just moving right with his feet on this left lane. Brock's actually using a different ball. He's using an IQ Tour solid on the right lane, and then he's using a jet black taboo on the left lane. And this ball has more core in it and hooks a little bit more, so it allows him to play a little deeper and get around that little down lane oil on this lane.
Oh, man, ringing and good looking ball all the way too for Finch.
Now watch this 6-pin right here. Right around the bottom of the 10. That is a ringing 10, my friends.
That's just centimeters away from perfection. Covers it nicely, so he picks up a mark in frame number 2, but the door opened just a little bit for Lorincz. I'm just thinking Ronnie Fujita had 100 more pins, he still would have lost that match. I mean, that's how good Lorincz was in the first match. He was that good in the first match, and he's apparently going to be that good in the second match.
Fantastic shot.
And he is taking the approach that requires an extra degree of focus to get through this competition.
Luckily, I have a couple friends that have bowled on TV and stuff like that. They always say that it gets really, really tight down lane, so I'm expecting it to be tight. Obviously, nerves are going to come into play, so hopefully I just stay in the pocket. That's the goal, make spares.
He hasn't had to make many today. All right, are we rerunning the tape of the first match? Because this is how he opened the first match. It's so funny, he sounds so conservative. Oh, I just want to make some spares. Well, he doesn't have to.
Yeah, you can fill a lot of frames when you don't shoot spares. So, very key here for Brock to step up, throw 2 good shots, and not let this one get away early. He's got to make a little move left with his feet here. Probably 2 left with your feet, 1 with your eyes at least. There you go.
Buried that 10 pin that time.
You see this just a little bit deeper on the lane, crosses 13-14. Gets a little further right of the head pin, about 2 more boards down lane at his break point. Perfect shot, perfect execution.
Now 33 early. Still there's plenty of time.
Bringing 10 is technically about a half a board light at 60 feet, but it's an awfully tough adjustment to make.
Nice. Well, he sent straight back that time for Brock Finch. So he's steadied himself. And Aaron Lorincz has just been steady. Open with the front 8 in his semifinal match and nails the turkey to get things started here. The winner will take that home. Will it be Brock Finch or Aaron Lorincz? On the line, we move ahead to the 7th frame. Finch from Urbana University. The Blue Knights, not a big school, but a great opportunity for their program to get some publicity. And with a great player like Finch leading the way.
Boy, that one was good.
No luck necessary when you throw a ball that perfect. And for Brock, it's obviously important for himself to do well here, but also for Urbana.
It's a big deal. I mean, we're a small school, 4-year program. I think this is the first time any one of us, my roommate, we're the first 2 to ever go to nationals for intercollegiate anything, singles, teams, whatever it may be. It's a huge honor. It's a big deal, and I really do want to say, hey, we are improving, we're here, don't ignore us, kind of thing.
So Brock Finch now, maybe on the march.
Chance to cut it to 10.
Got the 10 pin that time when he really needed it in frame number 8, and he throws it right back at Aaron Lorincz.
Does again just get a little bit forward. You can see him fall off just a touch, but it's online the whole way. That's what stops it from going all the way through the pins. This time the head pin comes back, and as it's spinning, the very head of it clips the 10 now.
It's on the shoulders of Aaron Lorincz. Can he come back? Yes, he can. Just so unruffled. I love his demeanor. I mean, it's fun to watch, you know, the Pete Webbers of the world and carry on and do their thing, but his thing is just as admirable.
Something about guys that can stay in the moment and just perform with precision time after time. It's very much an acquired skill, and it's a difficult thing to do with all the adrenaline and things that are going on around you.
Does that translate well to the next level?
Absolutely.
Oh, perfect shot. Aaron Lorincz really responding. Throws it right back at Brock Finch.
Back to a 20-pin lead. The situation is this. Brock Finch can strike out of the 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th for 235. Max score for Aaron Lorincz, if he strikes all the way out, 245.
Yes, it does. So this is turning into an outstanding match as these players beginning to trade haymakers.
The last shot almost went a little bit high that he threw first strike, and that time you can see the adrenaline pumping. His ball speed was up a little bit. Another well-executed shot. Pure power at the pins.
See, after Finch got off to that slow start, left the big 4 on his first ball, and has picked it up since then.
See, this strike here will pull him even.
Yes, sir. That's his roomie right there, Graham, and Coach Alan Ryan. So the head pin has now become his buddy.
Yeah, once again, watch the head pin go to the wall, and this one takes it out with authority.
Well, this is how it ought to be when you're competing for a national championship. The game is going to come down to the last shots.
Now Lorincz has to match whatever Finch does in these next 2 shots. If he goes 9 spare, then Lorincz needs 9 spare strike.
So all the bowling these guys have done individually and for their teams. And here they are in the 10th frame of a national championship. This is what we're down to, even. Go through the nose, 3-6-10.
Leaves the door wide open now. You can see this time he's inside a target. He's trying to get it right of the 3rd arrow. That was inside of the 3rd arrow. A good 3 boards inside a target there. And Lorincz now needs to fill 18 in the 10th frame.
If he does that, he'll be a national champion. So smooth, my goodness. Parents are happy, and they should be. Can he hold it together for one more good shot? He just basically has to show up here. Don't trip the foul line, which he didn't do.
He hasn't missed the pocket on this lane.
Come
Wasn't
on.
going to miss it there.
Now, sir, that's how you finish like a champion, and that's what Aaron Lorincz is. The junior from Saginaw Valley State has won. .278 in the first game, and if he strikes here, .245.
Shoot 520, you're not going to lose very often.
Wow, that's so impressive. And he should just take that right lane home with him because he owns it. Your champion. Grab that trophy and lock on tight. Aaron Lorincz, congratulations, you are the
Jack Link's Beef Jerky presents Messin' with Sasquatch.